The grandparents are coming to town, from Klaas's perspective. Despite my people being distracted by the bajillions of things going on in the mortal realm this year, I must say they've outdone themselves with the presents. I haven't seen a year as productive as this since the 1990s. Of course, there was the year the most recent pandemic started, when all my elves had to do was work. We are protected from the mortal realm here in our little pocket dimension, but when a virus has the power to cover the entire globe, you have to worry a little bit about whether or not it'll break through our shield. Especially with my queen being human, I can't risk her getting ill. Our shield is the only thing keeping her alive. Otherwise, she'd have died over a century ago. Myself and my elves are far better off. We live naturally long lives anyway. The shield just makes it even longer. The preparations for the sleigh and everything before that went perfectly. The reindeer were fed, the magic was scattered, and myself and my advisor were off. Navigating the mortal realm has never been easy. Even travelling faster than the speed of light doesn't guarantee we'll make it everywhere in time. We rely on the hope that we don't experience any delays or interruptions. We have a fail-safe, but I never want to use it. Again, we're making good time tonight. That is until we get to England, and we receive a worrying call from the workshop. "Your Grace, some of the elves have gone missing," a panicked elf yells from the other side of their headset. I tell them to calm down, and I explain what's happening, and they reveal that somehow the elves had been pulled out of the barrier by some force. I ask if they can be tracked from base, but they can't. I turn to my advisor and ask what we can do, and he checks the magic detector, noting a surge somewhere in the south of England. It's not ideal, but we can allow for a quick detour, I suppose, en route. When we arrive on the street, a commotion is already in progress. I look down to see a woman dressed similarly to my wife running down the road, chased by my elves and two of my collector children, the young Charles and his sister Zena. We land and Charles looks absolutely shocked to see me. It's adorable. He has always been one of the children I've kept a close eye on. He used to write me a letter every year. If it wasn't for his death earlier this year, he would be on my nice list. But once you die, your name removes itself from the list permanently. It's a shame. Zena, on the other hand. We quickly learn their grandmother has become an archetype. Nasty things they are. At first I have no idea what to do, but my advisor points out Zena is in possession of a toad. We awaken his dormant powers and grant Zena the gift of witch blood. This sorts out that mess. I would stay to say goodbye, but it's a long night ahead and we must be off immediately. We gather our elves and continue our journey. As once we get to Australia, I'm informed we're missing one elf, but it's too late to go back for her now. Australia is an interesting country to visit, because technically we visited it the night before Christmas Eve, but thanks to that fail-safe we mentioned earlier, we're able to visit it on our rounds by turning back the clock. It winds Father Time up to no end every year, but they're used to it. That's why we can only use it once per trip. Once home, I kick off my boots and give my queen the biggest kiss in the world and start talking about my night. She seems more distant than normal, and I ask her what's wrong. She says, "The elf that's not accounted for. It's Estelle."